of whatever comes, whether it's martial law or declaration of emergency, state of emergency, which Florida, by the way, was very close to issuing last summer. The problem is that you need people to execute it. And from what I'm hearing, there was a filtering process regarding the National Guard unit. They had to pass a test, or was it they needed to fail a test in order to become qualified for being part of the martial law imposition force? One of the questions that I heard of through a military contact of mine was, are you comfortable with shooting an American citizen who's rioting and demonstrating, even if he's just really looking for food? So that's a pretty tough question to answer, and there were a lot of discussion from a different source that I heard from with a military background, that there are many Christian elements within the military that said, we're just not going to shoot fellow Americans. So the challenge to the authorities might be to find, hoodlums in urban gangs of sufficient number that they could serve in this force. The people are going to be a problem. There's another more natural force that could actually occur that I'd like to cover, and that is a formal U.S. Treasury default. If the dollar slips hard enough and the monetization of the Treasury bond issuances and auctions become revealed enough, that could force a vicious circle where the dollar goes down, more monetization occurs, it gets revealed, the dollar goes down in response, and everything turns to crap for the U.S. Treasury issuance that are dollar denominated. We could actually see a debt write-down and a technical default of treasuries. And if the write-down, which involves negotiations with creditors, does not go well, we could actually see a tribunal, which is a receivership committee for, I'm sorry to put it in bold terms, but to take control of the U.S. government and set up committees for regional governing. I'm talking about removing the Congress and removing the executive branch. I'm not talking about revolution. I'm talking about creditors coming in the same way they would for any bankrupt corporation and saying, well, management, there's the door. And that's the parallel is government, there's the door. You're not in charge anymore. You ruined it. You oversaw a ruin. And if we get that kind of default, what we're likely going to see from a tribunal committee for receivership is the breaking of the U.S. into several territories. I'm not saying this is my forecast. I'm saying this is a possible path, and it could have increasing likelihood. I'm seeing it just in the last 6 months, increasing likelihood. And then it becomes extremely complicated as to what alignment certain regions have. Like one region might be aligned to Canada more, another might be aligned to Mexico more, another might be aligned to Europe more, another aligned to China more.